everyone. Welcome to the Clubroom, part of the Win Again Academy. I'm super excited to have you all here. We have a huge crowd and lots of great stuff happening today. We've got Marshall Faulk. We got Dave Meltzer showing up in a couple minutes. We've got Hanna Horenstein, who is the big shot at Virtuity. We have Chris Ward, who I'm going to talk about in a minute. And the whole point of this, the whole mission of this academy is to obviously help athletes and non-athletes really take the next step to a greater career and a greater business. And what I've found is that most people, when they go through a transition, whether it's going from your sport to something else or from a career to something else, people really struggle with that transition. So with that said, the Clubroom and the Win Again Academy exists to really help all athletes and all non-athletes really make that transition successful. So anyway, what we're going to do right now is actually, I'm going to talk about Chris Ward and what he's doing a little bit later. But first, I want to bring in Marshall and Dave Meltzer into the presentation mode in a sec. But before I do that, just a quick little introduction about them. So Marshall Faulk, as we all know, he is a football Hall of Famer. He had went to San Diego State University, was really, he played for what, 240 years, set about 1,000 records, but really, you know, won a Super Bowl, he's a Pro Bowler 7 times, all the football accolades I can talk about. But what I really want to focus on is a lot of his work with the transition, how he transitioned from football into a variety of businesses and eventually landing here at Virtuity. We're going to talk about that a little bit. And then I'm also going to bring in Dave Meltzer. And Dave is, I'm going to read a couple things because there's so many things about him too. But not only is he the co-founder of Sports One Marketing with Warren Moon, and he used to be the CEO of the Lee Steinberg's agency. They were the ones that were obviously part of Jerry Maguire. He's a 3-time bestseller. His books are amazing. They really are. He's also the host of a weekly series on Fridays that you need to check out. I'm going to be putting links to all this stuff in there. He runs a successful coaching program. He does sales training. Dave Meltzer is awesome. Words of wisdom come out of him like it's oxygen or something, or carbon dioxide, right? Anyway, so I'm going to bring both of you gentlemen in right now. So just go ahead and click on the accept thing. Marshall, I'm going to start with you first. Here you go. You can come in, and then David, you can come in right now too. Bring it on, gentlemen. All right. Hey, what's happening? How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Dave, what's up?
I figured out a way to say I hijacked you.
It's called shoehorning. I just made that up, by the way. I don't even know what that means, but
hey, I just gotta say one thing about Marshall Faulk that you didn't say, because I have the deepest respect. Marshall Faulk is a Hall of Famer. I know you gotta say it every time, because that is the spirit of excellence encapsulated, which is why I joined his team with Tyree, with Hanna, but I joined Marshall's team. He's the only athlete I've ever, besides Warren Moon, another Hall of Famer, have ever wanted to work with one-on-one to be part of his team. And he is a great leader, just like Warren Moon.
Wow.
Thanks, Dave.
Marshall.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
You know what? I'll see you guys later. That was pretty good. You're off and running.
No, you have work to do, Mark. You have work to do.
I sure do. Anyway, well, look, very sort of first and foremost, and you know, each of you has risen to the top in your respective fields, and you've done tremendous work over the years. And one of the things I want to talk about, and it's resonating now quite a bit, and you know, this has been a tumultuous year for everybody. It's you know, a lot of people are saying, oh, let's just get rid of 2020. It's just a couple more months. Let's get into 2021. But for those who really look at things a different way, it's a chance to really have a kick-ass rest of the year and really run into 2021 flying. But maybe each of you can give me a couple minutes of sort of what you like to tell the people that you speak to about that, and you know, what kind of advice can you give someone who's just been struggling? David?
Yeah, sure. So you know, for me, it's understanding what we do have control of. Number one, don't fall into the trap of uncertainty. Everything's always uncertain. If anybody out there can tell Marshall and I what exactly is going to happen tomorrow, we can all make billions of dollars. I'm yet to have anyone call me with knowing what's exactly going to happen. So erase uncertainty from your vocabulary and your perception. It's really about change. And we are under accelerated change. In the past 7 months, we've, in my opinion, in major institutions in America, have increased change to about what's equivalent to 7 years of change. In all types of distribution, marketing, sales, presentations, technologies, all have accelerated because of necessity. What does that mean? With great change comes great opportunity if you know what you have control of. So here's the 3 things that you need to know you have control of. Most importantly, and Marshall will touch on this, mindset. You got control of your mindset. You need to find the light, the love, and the lessons in everything. You need to figure out how your capabilities are synergistic, supplementary to what's doing well now, what's stable now, and what you feel may do well in the future according to the changes that you perceive or the expertise or mentors that you seek perceive. 2, your heart set. You're in control, and this is what great Hall of Famers do better than anyone. I wish I would have learned this earlier in my career, not that I would have been any better at football, but earlier in my business career. You have control of your heart set, what you feel. And what we feel is going to dictate how much inspiration we have towards what we want. So if people are feeling bad, they're going to get more bad in their life. If you're feeling good, you're going to get more good in your life. So I want people to know you have control of your heart set, your mindset. And then finally, logistically, you have control of what you think, say, do, believe, and your personality traits, characteristics, obsessions, and addictions. So once we know we have control of the car, all you have to do is realize we're driving on the other side of the car. We're in the roundabout in the UK. So even though the whole road system seems different and the vehicle seems different, you still know how to drive. And the best drivers are going to get to where they want to go faster than anyone else. No better time to do that when the roads have changed and the cars have changed. The people who are in control of what they're in control of will succeed.
Nicely stated. Marshall, beat that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to beat it. I'm just trying to join.
We're teammates. We're teammates. I just blocked a big hole. He was for a touchdown.
It's about complementing it and understanding exactly what Dave said, and being in this space and understanding where opportunity lies. And opportunity always lies where there's a crisis. And when you see that there's a crisis, guess what most people are going to do? They're going to fall for the crisis. So what that does is that create more opportunity for each and every person that's hungry who wants to thrive. I'm telling you, most of the time, and this is literally what happened to me. A guy got hurt for me to get an opportunity, and guess what I could have did? I could have went in there and did okay. No, I went in there and did my best. And that's what you have to understand. Opportunity presents itself each and every day. A lot of people, they see the opportunity, but guess what they don't do? They don't seize it because they don't have the proper mindset. Negative mindset will produce negative outcome. Positive mindset will produce positive outcome. And you have to understand that your brain is a muscle that you must condition. Just like if I want my biceps to get good, I have to lift. You have to lift your brain up and make sure you're teaching it the things you want it to learn. It doesn't teach you. You're in control of it. And sometimes we allow things to control us that we should have control of, but we give in to, whether it's the news or whether it's music or movies, we give it power. We own our energy, we own our power. We get to create what we have inside of us, and then we get to give it to others if we choose to. And nobody should be selfish and keep it all to themselves. That's why Dave does what he does. That's why I do what I do. Outside of entertaining on a football field, entertaining on the television, telling people about football, and now I still consider this in a realm. I'm entertaining people about finances and where they need to be and where they should be, because we were not given the tools to be successful financially in life. We were all set up to fail. Unless you come from money, you don't know much about money. And if you don't seek it out, you're going to be without. So that's where we're at.
Well, that's well stated. One of the things that Dave likes to talk about is the importance of, not feeling bad about wanting to make lots of money. It's okay to be super successful. Look, the more money you make, the more you can give back and so forth, right? And, especially now where, there's some people that are suffering, and that's terrible. I mean, the best thing we can do when we run into somebody like that is really give them the advice and the help that they can to lift out of it. But it's okay to want to be successful and to really sort of want to crush it. And I know that there are a lot of other sort of colleagues of yours here that Marshall, that are part of Virtuity, that the main common theme is to really crush it, is to really be successful. There's I don't know why there seems to be a thing where sometimes it's considered, oh, it's bad if you make lots of money. No, it's ridiculous. right?
Mark, here's the reality, okay? I think a lot of people like to shame successful people about what they accomplish because of what they choose not to accomplish. As far as I know, I haven't met a person who's been successful that made a lot of money that's been like the worst person in the world. Like they're not out robbing people, doing things. Being successful, there's nothing wrong with that. And for whatever reason, like let's just think about it. After what just happened in basketball, I'll use basketball. You know, people for whatever reason, they hate LeBron James. He wins too much. They dislike Tom Brady. He wins too much. So they don't like it when you lose. They don't like it when you win too much. Well, what do they like? What do they like? The reality is this: you have to do what makes you happy. If making medium money makes you happy, do that. If not having money makes you, do that. If making a lot of money makes you happy, do that. The problem is when you make that decision, do not make a decision or point fingers at the person making a lot of money or the person not making money or wherever you are not at, telling them that they're wrong. Just understand that you're right for you and they are right for them. And that's, I think in the world, if we could all have that perspective on everything, I'm talking about everything, religion, I'm talking about if mask, no mask, whatever it is, what plane you want to fly or what car you want to drive, what lane, do you want to drive fast or slow? Let's stop being critical of we find things to just be critical of people of. Are you kidding me? Hey, I want to make a lot of money in life. Criticize me. What?
Yeah.
Let me add in before I have to go. I think the real issue that Marshall stated so well is the idea that people think they understand totality. They think that their perspective is totality. And the truth is, the minute we make comparisons, the minute we make judgments on other people, the minute we put conditions and limitations on others, we immediately effectuate the fact that we think our perspective is a totality. The truth is that we all are a piece and a parcel of the totality. Therefore, judgments and conditions will only separate us or create more interference or corrosion between what the truth is we all, and you mathematically can prove this, we are all part of a totality. No matter what color you are, what religion you are, what political party you belong to, we are all part of a totality. And if we just could have some humility and say, look, this is my portion of the totality. I want to make this money so in my life I can shop for community centers in Africa, for junior achievement, or for a Ferrari. Whatever it is, that's part of the totality. But the problem is we love to put these judgments and conditions, whether we lose, win, or draw. There's always somebody trying to separate us. Instead of looking at what we should do is learning from how are we more alike and how can we appreciate the differences so that maybe I could learn even more and get better at what I'm doing by learning from the person that doesn't want to make a lot of money. I might have some lessons to learn that can not only help them, but also help me make more money, even though they don't want to make it. And I think we are cutting off our hands to spite our face. And if we all take a totality vision of everybody's connected, this is one big picture and you're part of the picture, let's unite in that effort. And before I leave, because this team, I have to make this analogy, the reason I joined Marshall's team, and anyone that's looking, I see Joseph's here, he's part of our team, not only does making money help, but we're providing tons of jobs. I don't know how many hundreds of people have joined our team since I've joined. These are people that if you have grit, you don't have to have any money. You can come from where Marshall and I came from. You don't have to have anything other than plain old grit and the willing to be more interested than interesting and make millions of dollars. And the thing I like about our team is I wish somebody in football would have said, hey, Dave, you're going to be playing for the New England Patriots along with Tom Brady and Moss and all those guys that season when they were 16-0 and choked. I would have loved to be the running back on that team and pick myself up a ring for being on the best team. This is a team that is around you that is stacked. If the Chargers had, if Herbert was on our team, the Chargers had the players we had, trust me, they'd be 7-0 or 7-1.
Hey, one thing before you jump, just wanted to say, David, that I stuck in the general chat there the links to your 3 things. So I want everybody to make sure that you check out every Friday. David's got his weekly series. On top of that, he's got a program for coaching. He's got a program for sales training. You got to check that out. What else do you want me to say, David?
Join my team. Join my team. Marshall's a great leader. Tyree, Hanna, Ed Milet's involved with this company. That's why I first knew about it when I found out Marshall was running a group and built an office and wanted me to be a part of it. Trust me, if anyone's looking for an opportunity because they're looking for change, freedom, economic success, and fulfillment, because everything we do has a charitable purpose or cause, we're doing stuff with a why behind it. We'll give you your what, you pick your why, and we'll help you effectuate it. I just want to send my love to Hanna, Tyree, and Marshall. Thank you guys so much for letting me pounce in here.
All right, Dave. Take care,
Pounce
man.
anytime, David. Good seeing you.
Take care.
All right, cheers.
Bye-bye.
All right. So what's interesting, Marshall, is that David, it's funny. We all have pretty busy calendars, but David does everything in like 6-second increments. And I feel like sometimes he's a lawyer and, I've got to think about how much money am I spending with this guy on the 6 seconds here. But I'm going to invite Hanna in a second. But before I do that, I just want to make sure everybody knows that, please, if you have any questions at all for Marshall or Hanna, please use the Q&A button. And then after we're done here, quick announcement. We'll do a few more minutes of the networking stuff, and then I'm going to come back on and have a few words with Chris Ward, and he's going to talk a little bit about a fundraising effort he's doing to help feed the homeless in Los Angeles. I think it's a very important mission that he's on. So anyway, I'm going to invite Hanna in right now, and I love these guys. I mean, the last time we spoke, just 2 fantastic folks. You've already now met Hanna. You've met Marshall. But now Hanna's coming in, and she's been with Virtuity. Hey. Hello. She's been with the company for a lot longer than it's been around. She, in fact, started with it before they were around. But she started when she was 3 years old. So I'm trying.
Oh, that was good, Mark. That was a good one.
Yeah, I'm trying. But look, so now thanks for coming in, Hanna. So a couple of things. Number one, there's obviously there's a lot of the folks that are, I mentioned this earlier, that are with Virtuity that are here at this event. But what I wanted to talk about are, what are some of the challenges that some people are facing when they try to leave sort of one career, whether it's a sports career, another business, and coming into a career, whether it's something like what Virtuity is, or if it's sort of anything else, and how can they overcome some of those challenges? Hanna, you can start. Yeah.
I was gonna say that's a good one for Marshall. Well, I'll answer it my way. I think obviously Marshall has a better perspective for athletes because I've never been one, but I'll tell you the perspective I bring is I think that if you had any type of experience, as an employee or even trying to start your own business, you essentially have, a frame of mind you're coming in from. And, this is something completely new. And so what's great about this platform is the fact that you have mentorship, and Dave kind of touched on that. And, if there's a playbook and you have someone who's willing to help you and kind of hold your hand and guide you and keep you from making mistakes, you have to kind of trust the process and understand that, again, it's very different than when you're than when you are an employee. So our platform is entrepreneurial, but again, with the twist, because you do have mentorship, you do have, people that have done it and are willing to help you. And we have an incentive to help people become successful. So it's just very different. So you really do have to come in with faith and open mind and willing to be coachable. So it's just a very different, frame of mind. I know Marshall can definitely, take it from a different perspective, coming from an athlete's mindset. So Marshall?
Yeah, I think in general, even when, like, if you're not an athlete, or even if you are an athlete, I think in general, what you're looking for and what makes what we do unique is, first of all, most places that you go, you're going to a job. Here, you're coming to a business opportunity. Most places you're going to like earn a check. Here, you're building income, and you have an opportunity to own your own business. Now, when you go to do these things in the real world, outside of like our bubble and what we do, you don't understand what goes into it. You don't understand the investment, what you got to put into it, what it's going to cost you. You don't understand the time. You don't understand the resources that you need to get it done. Being an entrepreneur, I understand that. So when I saw this opportunity, I was like, I can succeed here. Not to mention the camaraderie and what we do and the teamwork and how we work together. Most people need that. If you are an employee and you've been institutionalized to be an employee, it's going to be hard for you to see things as an entrepreneur. Your mind isn't open to new things and new ideas. Entrepreneurs, they're independent critical thinkers. They're used to solving problems. Employees, they turn around and look to their boss or their manager and say, something's wrong. That's just what they're used to doing. So when you come here, we're not just giving you a paycheck. We're not just telling you what to do. We're building you up. And it's not just about building your business or building your bank account, but it's about building you as a person. You are going to become a better person because you're going to understand how personal development it fits into growth in life. If you grow in life but you're not personally developing, you're going to be a very immature adult and do stupid things. And we're just trying to help people out. So the perspective, whether it's sports, whether you come from the business world, it doesn't matter. This platform, and you need one. You need one. If you don't come from this world of entrepreneurship, or you don't come from the world of owning your own or understanding what having generational wealth is and creating that space, then you need a platform to help build you and yours.
That's great. So one of the things that I like to talk about is that most athletes, when they're playing a sport and when they soon retire after, not soon, but sometimes a long time, but when they retire, they oftentimes don't realize all the benefits that they bring with them as a former athlete. And a lot of times they say, well, I'm just a jock, what do I know? And I don't really have experience, or I'm not an executive, or, a lot of things like that. And, it's interesting. I always like to say that if you put an athlete in a conference room with other executives, they feel very nervous and out of place. If you put an executive in a locker room around other athletes, they feel out of place. But if you put everyone together and mix half and half, it's everyone's human. Everyone's got the same sort of, blood and skin and so forth, right? So to me, though, athletes bring a lot of things like, the tenacity, the grit, the ability to understand a playbook, the ability to pivot on a moment's notice, the ability to be coached and managed, which is absolutely essential because lots of people are not good at being coached and managed, right? And again, also the ability to be in front of a stage or to be able to, selling, presenting. That's not an easy skill to learn. It's not comfortable for someone to be in front of others, but athletes have that. It's ingrained in them. But Marshall, give me an idea of maybe one or two other things that you've noticed over the last few years that when you're looking to, if you want to, for example, add a few former athletes to your team, what are some of the other skills that they bring to the table that you really like to look for?
Well, it starts with leadership. Like you're either in leadership or you understand how to follow leadership. You're in one or two places. You're giving it or you're showing people, hey, I can follow. Every leader at one point in time they follow. Nobody was born with leadership. You're not. That's a trait. The ability to take the chance. Blind faith. Understanding that, hey, when you open that door, what you want is on the other side of that door. Now you could hear barking and you're scared of dogs, but you understand there's an opportunity on the other side, and you're going to look, and you're going to try to take advantage of the opportunity. The ability to dream. Dreams is to connect us to it. We're in the reality. The dream is where you want to go. The road that you travel is how to get there. The dream is what keeps you going. It's what wakes you up. It makes you restless at night. It's what you work for. And a lot of people don't have dreams. I'm gonna be a dreamer my whole life, And regardless of what I have, I'm always dreaming and wanting for more, even if it's just more for my family, for my kids, for the people I work with. It doesn't matter. I always want more. And last but not least, the inner biting, I mean, it's just like you have a desire to want to win, and you're willing to do whatever it takes to win. It's like, hey, tell me what I need to do to win. Here's what we need to do. Okay, I tried that. I got this far. What else do I need to know to win? And you will go to the depths to get what you need to be successful to win. That's what most ball players, that's what they bring. Football breaks you down. And it's who does it break down the least? We all start fresh in the first quarter. When you get to the fourth quarter, it's like, okay, we're all tired. We're all conditioned, but who really wants to win? That's the person that digs deep inside of them and get the things that's necessary to make sure, hey, my hard work is going to pay off.
That's great. So, Hanna, when you're looking at people that used to play a sport, I mean, what do you have anything you'd like to add to that? What else do you like to look at?
So I think that, as I mentioned before, really it's desire, it's coachability, it's usually dissatisfaction with where you're at and willing to make a change. Because if someone's comfortable, if someone is not dissatisfied in their current situation, they're not going to do what it takes. And this is not easy. I mean, business is not easy. Starting your own business, changing habits. I mean, it's like people are so used to their routines, whatever it is, they're comfortable in it. And all of a sudden, you're literally telling them they need to change what they do on a daily basis. They need to change how they think, what they speak about. I mean, everything has to essentially change. And so I think that really when if you get to the bottom of it, it's like they have to look at their life and say, I don't like where I'm at. And if I continue doing what I'm doing right now, in 5 years, 10 years, am I going to be excited to be in the same place, Or where am I going to be in 5 years if I continue down the same path? So if you have a job, if you're on a career path, whatever it is that you're doing, where will this lead me in 5 years? What will this look like in 10 years? And so if you come to that realization and there's dissatisfaction there, now you have to decide, are you willing to make a change? And if we can show you that playbook, if we give you that playbook and say, if you follow this, on the other side of it, on the other side of the hard work and all the pain and all the things that are going to come with it, you're going to have a better life. Now they have to commit to it. So it's all of those things kind of put together. They have to be willing to do the work. They have to be willing to sacrifice. They have to be coachable. And if they have that and they have the desire, then we want to work with them. So it doesn't have anything to do with what degree they have or what they studied before, what they did before. None of that matters. Like, you can train skills, you can train sales, you can train everything else, but you cannot train desire, and you cannot train someone, and you cannot make someone make a change. They have to want it deep down inside. What you can do is you can help them find that. You can help them, by asking them questions and having them go deep, you can have them understand and then make a decision to make a change. Does 100%. That make sense?
I mean, that's a great line. You can't train desire. I mean, you can't. There's certain things you cannot do. You can't sort of show someone how to be fired up about something. They just need to give them something to be fired up about, right? It's funny. There's some people that you can just tell. It's whether it's a look in their eye or the twinkle or something that you just know that they're excited and excitable and enthusiastic. And there's other people you just know they're either looking for just like the 9-to-5 payday and whatever it is and just want to hunker down. And it's tough. They're not going to be successful, or not crazy successful anyway. So what I want to do now is a couple different things. Number one, I'm actually going to invite in Chris Ward in a second, because I want him to talk a little bit about what the work he does with some of the former athletes, but also some of the charitable work that he does. But before I do that, one last thing, I guess, you know, what's really important about what we're trying to do today is really a couple different things. One, you know, showcase how athletes can transition into great careers. They don't need to just settle for something. They can get into something that really is meaningful, exciting, that they get fired up over, and it really gets their mojo going again. The other thing we're trying to do is really show how this environment and this club room here can really show it's sort of a community, and a community of people that they can all get to really meet each other. And look, if there's anybody that's listening and part of this that wants to speak to Marshall or Hanna or Joseph or some of the other folks with Virtuity, please do. It's a career pathway that not many people anticipate or think about when they first start or when they first leave their last gig, but it's something that is absolutely exciting. And there's tremendous upside to it that, you know, if it's done right and you're working for the right team, and that's the most critical thing right there. So if you gentlemen and ladies are okay, I'm going to invite Chris to come in and just briefly and talk a little bit about what he's doing, and then we'll go back to the networking and so forth. So Chris, when you see that magical button there, join us. And when he comes in, I'm going to do a quick little intro, and we can move forward. But Chris is also tied in with the Virtuity gang. Whoops, and Marshall went the other direction. There he is.
I'm part of
Chris.
well,
there he is.
All
I
got a plan. I'm working it. What's up, everybody? Marshall, big dog. What's up, baby?
What's going on?
Oh man, is that my fearless leader? Fearless leader. Oh man, yeah, it's good to be on. Mark, thank you so much for allowing me to use this platform to come on. I just want to, you know, football is great, and I said this. Somebody wanted me to do an interview they were advertising for Veterans Day and this, that, and the other. And I went through all the football accolades. Obviously, you know, Marshall has a Super Bowl ring and he's Hall of Fame. Who knows? If I stumble in there one day, I'll be glad. But guess what? I don't have any regrets about what I was able to accomplish from a sports standpoint. But it has prepared me for life, and I have a few basic principles that I use. One of them is I'm writing a book now called The 3 Seeds of Faith. Your time, your money, and your words. If you use those effectively and invest them in the right places, you can automatically find your next pursuit or the thing that's going to make you happy. Spend time, and you have to use wisdom. And the second key is follow your wisdom path. Opportunities don't come to people accidentally. They come to people who are looking for something to do, and they come to people at the right time for them to make that move. A lot of people, they don't recognize a good opportunity because they're not looking, they're not building themselves every day. You know, and the other thing where the money is concerned, I'm believing God to be a billionaire. Can I just say that? And I've shared that with Marshall and with my fearless leader, Hanna. But it's so that I can give money to other causes, because I'm a minister, I'm a licensed minister. And I have found that, you know, when you invest, okay, you get addition and subtraction. If you make a good investment, you're going to get some interest, you're going to get something added to it. If you make a bad investment, you're going to lose money. Okay, the same thing with saving, but when you give, it's a kingdom activity, and it's the multiplication principle. And I have been able to live in great health, you know, and ended up being the president of the pro players NFLPA, and that kind of fell in my lap. I didn't run for it. I never wanted to do it because it's a thankless position. You're trying to lead, in my case, 700 other people to do things. And I told them, I said, listen, we're going to do something with this organization. We're not going to meet 3 times a year, say, hey, how you doing? And eat and drink and go home and let the neighborhoods around us that we came from just languish in whatever they're doing. We're going to do something to lift the neighborhoods up. So we had one event where we've had 2. I'm charged to do 3. public service events. Okay, one, we had a free football camp at Sarah High School. You're on the East Coast. You may or may not know about Sarah. Sarah has about 10 or 15 current NFL players from it. So the high school, they played good high school, and they had a lot of players there. But we had connected with the community, and everybody was saying, "How much you charging?" I said, "Man, we're not charging these kids nothing." We had people that had never played professional sports, not even went to college on a scholarship. They was charging these kids $100 an hour to coach them. And I said, "Hey, man, we did this on the highest level. Let's get together." And man, that thing went over big. We had pretty much almost 100 people. We had 40 kids and parents, and we got the parents to come because I told them, "Listen, this is not a babysitting service. You're going to come, and you're going to be part of what we're doing. You're going to be a community service." And then the pandemic hit, and everybody went into, let's see, how do we work around this? That was my mentality. How do I work around this?
Wait a second. Let me have a question for you. What
Yes,
pandemic
sir.
are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. It's
You
over.
don't know what?
It's
You
over.
don't know about that?
Done.
Okay, all
It's all
right.
done.
Well,
Hey.
me either, because I went right on around it. I went around it. I sought wisdom, and so we started feeding people. We had one feeding event where when we had 5 players show up, and we gave 300,000 pounds of food away in one day, in 2 hours. Okay. If you want to see the video on it, y'all can get in touch with me. I'll send you the link to the video. We actually took video of it there. And I said to myself, and that was in conjunction with another food bank, but I said to the players, "Listen, we want to do our own event in the greater LA area." That was in Montebello. We want to do that. And I said, "Let's give away some turkeys at Thanksgiving." So I've been working on that for several months, going good. We finding the turkeys, which I didn't even think was going to be a challenge, but there's such a great demand for the turkeys in the United States going across, from to China. They're exporting turkeys everywhere.
Hey, time out. I just want to tell you something. Right outside my window here, I got like a dozen of them running by. I'm in the middle of nowhere. So if you need some extra turkeys, I'll see if I can try to tackle a couple. I'm not a hunter, but I could try to chase after them.
Man.
I don't know. But hey, so real quick, because I want to have a chance for us to get back to the tables and be able to chat individually and so forth. But what I'm doing right now, Chris, is I just popped into that general chat box on the right. What you're doing right now is you're raising money to feed the homeless in LA, and more specifically, you've bought a ton of turkeys to be able to give away for Thanksgiving. So what I'd love everybody to do, if you have the opportunity, is to dig deep or deeper or deepest into your pockets and click on that link that you see there. It's Chris has been working tirelessly on this to really put together an amazing event to give to really feed the homeless and so forth. So if you have the opportunity, and Chris can certainly speak with all of you after this section here at the tables, but if you have the opportunity, make sure you donate some money there. Chris, just give me a quick idea, and then we're going to jump back in a sec. Give me a quick idea of how many people you're hoping to feed.
Well, we did the feed before. We fed over 400 families. And, the food bank that we were associated with, most of the food banks, they take whatever they can get. It's not like they can go and say, "Listen, we want 600 chickens, we want turkeys." They take vegetables. And the great thing about it, they go directly to the farms, but most of the time the meat is short. So at a time when, meat is short and there's a lot of demand for food, and the saddest thing is to be around somebody who's eating and everybody's celebrating in their own house, and you don't have nothing to eat, or you don't have no turkey or no meat on the table. We decided we would give away some turkeys. It's going to cost us $15,000. We have the turkeys pre-ordered at Costco. We want to give away 500 larger turkeys so that a family of 4 can feed themselves with meat as protein for a week. If you got a 30 pound turkey, you can make that. You can work that. You can do turkey on the day of. You can do turkey salad. You can do turkey soup. And you can stretch it with some rice or whatever you like to eat it with. So we wanted to give away some larger turkeys for Thanksgiving.
That's awesome. So let's do this. By the way, for all of you who don't know this, Chris Ward played for the New York Jets for several seasons. This is before they became the more like winless Jets right now.
Was back then.
That was a disaster last night. But anyway, he was a first round pick. He excelled on the field, but now he's excelling off the field. He's also a pastor, and I'm going to call him the minister of motivation. Is that right?
Turn me loose, let me go. I can go now. That's the first thing I told Hanna. I said, Hanna, give me a microphone. I can do it, girl. I can. Don't get a preacher a microphone, because boy, I can do it. You've on a business level too.
You've certainly found your calling, without a doubt. But,
hey man,
but
you something else, Chris.
Marshall, first time I talked to him before I signed up under Marshall, man, I was like, listen, bro, this is it. Let's kick it and go. Let's go, brother. We ain't sitting around. Here's my plan. Can you help me with it? Huh? And he said, yeah, come on, let's do this. So I really appreciate Marshall and Hanna. And I really appreciate, can I say WFG? Am I allowed to say that? Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. Well, with WFG, I really appreciate it, because what it did for me, that second seed of faith, it showed me how to organize my money, how to be very effective. The system they have of where's all your money now, what you're doing with it, where do you want to go, and making adjustments really helped me. It really did, especially now. This company should be bigger than Amazon right now. Can I just say that? It should be grossing more than Amazon, because that's the number one thing that people are faced with. I have this what do I do with it? Okay, how do I make it grow, and where's my next opportunity? So I'm with that. I have a bigger scope plan, as opposed to, being at all the meetings and all that. But it's working. It's slower than I want it to be, but guess what? I'm going for it, brother. I'm not going away. I'm the little engine that could. I'm just gonna keep chugging. And guess what? Pretty soon, I'm gonna see some train smoke money.
All right.
Y'all know what train smoke money is?
Well, thanks, Chris. So listen,
Hanna, I told you what is train smoke money? Train smoke money. What is train smoke money? She laughing. She forgot. Train smoke money is when you go to sleep. They have these big locomotives, and they chugging, them wheels is turning. The trains run 24/7, and at the top of that smokestack is smoke coming out, whether you sleep or wake. And when you get train smoke money, you're making money whether you sleep or wake. You created a system, you put the time, the money, and the words into it to make it successful, and pretty soon it runs itself, it powers itself, and you can end up being whoever you want to be. What?
Wow.
Yeah.
Get this man on television.
Don't forget that.
Get this man on television. All right.
Listen, you better check me.
More.
You better check
more.
stat.
All right, guys. Well, listen.
Hey, Mark, you do this every day.
Dude.
Well, listen.
Y'all fun, man.
Thank you so much for. Hey, Chris, thanks for jumping in. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Marshall,
you too. Let me tell them where they can go. You gonna post my stuff up? You can go to Pro Players North America. .org, www.proplayersnorthamerica.org, and hit the donation button and send us some money. That money is going to go directly into getting turkeys for people from Thanksgiving through Christmas. We're going to be whatever donations come in, and we're going to try to get the NFL to match it so we can do twice as much. And I don't know, some of the players don't know, if you're raising money and you're a former player, the NFL Foundation will match whatever you get. So I'm hoping to get it matched up and get that $15,000 of Costco, so we can start rolling a big semi truck up there and get these people full for Thanksgiving. How about that?
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Keep on doing it. Well, listen, everybody, just real quick, we're going to jump back to the tables in a sec. And, one thing I want to mention is that we've got some fantastic sponsors. Obviously, Virtuity is in the house, clearly. We also have Pando. Pando is a fantastic company. And Derek Eitel is here. He can tell you all about it. Really, it's incredible what they're doing with baseball players, and they're shifting into other sports. We also have Surgical Marketing Group as a sponsor. They're fabulous. Harlem Standard is a brand new whiskey and bourbon whiskey. They're based in Harlem. The branding is incredible. The product is incredible. You really need to try it, just test it out. And we're holding a whiskey tasting event in a couple of weeks right here in the Clubroom. It's, as far as I know, the first online whiskey tasting. mostly or virtual one, because we're going to have Brian, who is the founder. He's going to be teaching everybody how to pour it, taste it, drink it, look at it, sniff it, whatever.
Wow.
Oh yeah, and the bottles are incredible. Everything is so great about it. Wait till you see that. What you need to do with Harlem Standard is go to their website and pre-buy a bottle, have it delivered, so that when we have that host that event, you've got that bottle ready to go. I know Marshall's had it.
Hey, put it in the chat.
Yeah, I will. All that stuff's going in the chat. Don't you worry, mister. Otherwise, now we're going to wrap things up here, and then we're going to go back, and then I'll say a few more words a little bit later. But thanks again, everybody, for watching this presentation. All three of you are amazing. Thanks, and let's spread the word back at the tables. Thanks for coming.